right, y'all. We back at Snoop News and Reviews, man. We got Rich Homie Quan and Young Thug.
Yeah.
No,
Rich homie Quan dropped a new tape, dog.
he did.
Yeah, he dropped a new tape. We all been waiting to hear from Rich homie Quan. He has
Oh,
some
this
hit
is
singles with
fake.
YSL. And I heard today you put me up on game. Rich homie Quan dropped a new tape. So I got excited. Come to find out, it's a whole different type of tape. That boy kept it
Dang.
real with investigators. Now I gotta keep it honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Before we was on we had to make it juicy for him. That was like a good phrase that came out of all the
Yeah.
snitch news. I kept it real with the investigators. Has got to be up there with one of the coldest lines I ever heard somebody say while
Dang.
ratting. Now, before we get too deep into it, because we are going to talk about the newly released audio of Rich Homie Quan giving information on a murder involving Young Thug, right? But first, y'all go ahead and hit the like button and
Straight up
subscribe.
for
We're
your
really
boy.
trying to
Yeah.
hit the 1.5 as soon as possible. About 50 of y'all subscribe will be good. You know what I'm saying? Just go, especially y'all watching the video more than once. It's free. It's a free way to support your boys. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, for anybody who doesn't know how the whole YSL case came to be, is really resulting from the murder of Donovan Thomas of Inglewood
Nut.
family bloods, right?
Yeah.
I remember watching Fannie Willis, the DA that brought the whole YSL case. I remember her with tears in her eyes talking about getting justice for Donovan Thomas's family. Now it's alleged that Donovan Thomas has snitched on another gang member. And that's how Young Thug allegedly was commissioned by Kyle Ory or somebody in the Sex Money Murder Gang. They got into it with the Inglewood family bloods, which is Donovan Thomas, and they're saying that's how Big Nut lost his life. Big Nut, aka Donovan Thomas. They're saying that Thug was the guy who rented the car that the shooters were in, that he met up with the shooters after he was at a McDonald's talking to him. This is all alleged. We can't confirm or deny this, but this is what they're saying in the YSL case. So it looks like Rich Homie Quan was telling about what happened to his dear friend. Somebody was really close with.
But he can't. Rich Homie Quan wasn't there, so he can't say what happened. He could just think of what, you know what I mean, what he thought happened. That's what it sounds like. What I'm hearing, it don't sound like he could say, "I seen them do it. They
Yeah,
pulled up and whacked them."
it's different
He's
than saying
just,
he seen them do it.
yeah,
He was really saying that he suspected that he did it.
right.
And a lot of people can't understand the audio. He got a heavy accent. You know how Rich Homie Quan talk, but it's pretty clear that he's saying we can't prove it, but Young Thug had something to do with Big Nut's death. And he also goes on to say that Young Thug was scared to be in Atlanta around the time that this happened, and that he was laying low in Miami with the shooters. So let's listen to the audio. Anybody who hasn't heard it by now, it's making its way online. I guess No Jumper provided the clip. This article I'm reading from is from Hot New Hip Hop. But let's go
Yeah.
ahead and listen so you can hear it for yourselves.
And he was saying Atlanta, he was scared to say Atlanta. Right. So Miami was on the spot. I saw it. We had a show together. I was like, I'm just asking to get the show. Everybody been talking about it. I'm gonna just be a man and answer myself. Right. Straight up, man. Niggas know go ahead and do it. We just can't prove it. Right. Point blank period. I ain't no rat. I ain't telling no. I'm just being real with y'all. I got how much I love nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit real for her, bro. So, why did you suspect Young Thug when you went to Miami? Is it because people told you, or did you have some beef with Young Thug at the time that kind of led you? I ain't had no beef, bro. That shit was deeper than rap, man. I really feel as if that was jealous of the relationship.
I shut.
It was a word. You know what I'm saying? It was jealous of the relationship. You guys seem to be getting along real well before that. I mean, I saw, how you guys were working together in the summer 2014.
Yeah, so yeah, he's saying that him and Young Thug didn't have beef before this. Oh, something I didn't mention.
Yeah.
Donovan Thomas was Rich Homie Quan's manager at the time of his untimely demise, which people suspect,
And
Young
another
Thug.
thing,
Yeah,
was too that we gotta always remember that Rich Homie Quan was better than, to me. I'm gonna give my personal opinion.
yeah,
He was better than Young Thug to me as an
yeah,
artist. You know,
yeah.
I don't know if anybody else felt like that, but as far as like lyrics, as far as like, creating songs, he was more talented than me than Thug.
I would agree. I liked Rich Homie Quan more than Thug at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you feel like maybe this was a jealousy thing because Rich Homie
I ain't
Quan
gonna
did
say,
bring that
yeah.
up. He said he felt like that people were jealous of the relationship between Rich Homie Quan and his manager, and that could have played a role in it. Do you think there could be any truth to that?
It could be some truth to that. We don't got no evidence, but I can
Mm-hmm.
tell that I thought that their style was a little similar, but I thought
Yeah,
Rich Homie Quan was just more clearer. It's like I can actually hear
understand what he
him a
was
little
saying
better.
better.
Yeah.
Okay, straight up, straight up. Well, this is the case that brought YSL down. And 2 weeks after the murder, Young Thug called Rich Homie Quan bitch Homie Quan. And nobody ever got an explanation on that. We watched interviews with Rich Homie Quan talking with academics, and academics is asking him what happened between you and Young Thug, and he's acting like it's no big deal. Or
Yeah.
like he don't really know what the issue is or why we fell out. He said they had distance after this happened, but he wasn't really going in like he was going in with that investigator. That audio that we just heard, that's Rich Homie Quan speaking to an investigator. He may or may not have realized that he was being recorded at the time. But he said he ain't no snitch or no rat. He said he's just keeping it real. Um, the question is,
Mm.
was he wrong? I mean, let's put everything into context. Rich Homie Quan's truck was shot up. His dad's barbershop was shot up. His father was even shot 4 times. And the father had an argument with Birdman. So they knew it was smoke. Somebody do all of that. Are you not supposed to set the record straight, keep it real, so that possibly your best friend's family could find justice? Is he ethically wrong? I mean, put the street shit aside for a second. Can you understand where the man's coming from, Bob?
Oh yeah, I can understand where you're coming from. I think that I don't know what Rich Homie Quan claims. I never seen of him to be he claiming too much of a gangbanger or. But we know that he got connections with Big Nut. So and he was an Inglewood blood. So I mean,
I saw Rich Homie Quan doing one of those fancy little handshakes.
handshakes too. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
sure.
if he down with the set, then yeah, he's in violation with just sitting down talking to them people. That's supposed to be something you're supposed to talk with your, you know, comrades about, and y'all supposed to, figure out what y'all gonna do. But like you said, if Quan ain't repping the streets and he doing this and he's a civilian, he ain't
Mm-hmm.
wrong. He doing his thing. But if he trying to throw up hand signs and you want to be in with the code, yeah, man, this don't look too good for you.
It doesn't look good if this is what you signed up for and now you trying to do something else. But honestly, you would hope that everybody comes to their senses at some point and rises above the street gang culture mentality and realize that this is senseless. So
Mm.
way I look at it, I ain't mad at Rich Homie Quan. You know, he didn't tell on me. He definitely told, but I
I
I
don't think
kind of
he
see where
told
he's
on
coming
Young
from.
Thug because he didn't really have no.
I mean, he said the words, "We know Thug has something to do
Something
with
to
it.
do
We
with
just
it.
can't prove it." If you say that to police during the investigation,
Yeah, that's
and,
like,
and look, put that aside. He's on the YSL witness list. So if he's called to testify, Young Thug has the right to face his accuser. So you got to say that in front of Young Thug. And we know that to be true because we watched Detective Danny Polo try to testify in the Mask in the YNW Melly case. And he said he was doing that because he felt like his family's life was in danger. His life was in danger. And the judge still made him take the mask off because he felt like Melly has the right to face his accuser. So he signed up to do that.
yeah, you got to sign up to do that. You got to say how you feel. You should. I feel that it's tough, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell him
It's
how to
tough.
move, but it's like
Yeah.
he lost his people. I'm sure he want to get some kind of get back, and this is
Yeah.
probably how he probably gonna get back at you. Like,
Yeah, yeah. But the crazy thing is, he was one of the guys saying free Thug, which is weird. We got to talk about that. Young Thug's baby mom has responded to these allegations. And Hot New Hip Hop has that story as well. Um, this is the same day after the leaked Rich Homie Quan audio has hit the internet. I'll
right,
read a little bit from here just to put the people up on game because Rich Homie Quan hasn't responded to this at all. A leaked audio recording circulated the internet today, allegedly showing Rich Homie Quan discussing Young Thug's RICO case. He says, I quote, "Thug has something to do with it. We just can't prove it." He says on the audio, the clip started a debate on social media as to whether or not uh, this could be considered snitching. Now, one of the mothers of Young Thug's children has taken to social media to weigh in. This is what she has to say. "The fact I went to Rich Homie Quan concert, he said free Thug so many times. Come to find out, you got a whole 30-minute recording telling. Damn," she wrote on Twitter. You feel where she's coming from?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And to be fair, we don't know if he was just telling for 30 minutes. The recording is 30 minutes, but it cuts off at 30 minutes, so it might have been longer. He
yeah,
might have been in there talking for a long time, which is a huge no-no if you're a member. But I'm just kind of trying to give the human perspective here. There's a lot of places people could go for the gangster perspective. I mean, the gangster perspective is that's the kind of thing that warrants death. I mean, if they're saying Big Nut got shot because he told on somebody, I mean, Rich Homie Quan's supposed to get shot. His truck got shot up. Daddy Barbershop got shot up. So they was definitely trying to get some get back. And now Rich Homie Quan dropping out of the scene, like we haven't heard from him in years. It makes sense. With Young Thug being that strong in Atlanta, I would probably want to stay out the way too. But though
yeah,
they say it's up for debate whether or not the audio proves that Rich Homie Quan said anything incriminating about Young Thug. Many social media users seem to think so. Several others, however, are claiming that whoever recorded the footage is the one in the wrong. How they wrong for recording the footage? Like, this is him talking to the police.
it's content, man. You know how the people realize now. I remember the Armstrong case. That
Yeah,
was the first leak audio of a big rapper that was
yeah.
coming up. And it's people leaking audio because it's content. They're getting paid off of it. If you release it on your content platform and it goes crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's on you.
Well,
So
that leads me into my next question. Who do you think is leaking all of these
I
audios?
think it's the police. I think the police is somebody that's in the police or have a connection with that. And that's where the link could be because that's who's gonna receive the information first, right? They're
Yeah.
gonna have it first, or if you're in that room with them, you can just record. You know what I mean? Just like that. It's like
Well,
I
when you
think it.
say the police, who you mean? You mean a law enforcement officer or like a beat cop? Because cops on the street ain't gonna get like, and they're not gonna be touching this information. So it have to be
I
what,
think
a
it got to be like an
prosecutor.
informant. No, I think it could be an informant, or it could be like a.
And if the Rich Homie Quan in this case is the informant, I'm just trying to be critical. I
Yeah.
think it could be possibly an attorney or a prosecutor
Yeah. Yeah.
because,
Could be them
like you
too.
said, it's going to be somebody who has access to this information. So
Yeah.
if it's not the prosecutor who we see in court, it could possibly be somebody in the prosecutor's office only making $40,000 to $60,000 a year, and they're tapped in with somebody like a hot new hip hop or a no jumper or say a flat TV, where they could probably stand to make a couple bands with an audio
Right.
like this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
who could you really trust when people are making so little bread and they know that this is like this case is
Top notch content. Yeah.
okay, okay. So
Yeah.
somebody's getting paid. According to 1090 Jake sources, he says that the DA is seeking to find out who is leaking these audios because they could be considered tampering with a witness. Can you
Yeah.
imagine somebody getting charged for bringing this to the internet? Do you think that's something that we could see in the future?
I think so because it's kind of making the police look bad. It's making it look like the police may have something to do with this as far as putting it out. So it's like, yeah, you got to keep things discreet. It's people that say things and they're giving you information because they won't. And now it's like anything you say to the police, it's like it's coming out. It don't matter what, like you can't hide it. You can seal it. Well, Rollo did a good job of sealing his. Blue Da Vinci too. I think his transcripts is sealed. So it is ways you can make it to where can't nobody find out what's going on and see.
Uh,
So
uh, well, what have we learned? Let's just go ahead and try to close them out.
close it
What
out.
have we
What we
learned from
learned
it?
today from this is listen, man. People can hold stuff in for a long time and you won't even know it. So
Yeah, that's what I learned. The same niggas who talking about free you might be niggas
yeah,
trying to keep your ass in there. That's what I learned from this.
straight up.
And
So
I just yo, if you like what you hear, go ahead and like and share. We love when y'all comment. We respond to the comments. MOD no, Lefty Guns no, Yanstar 88 no. Y'all tap in them
shout out to him.
comments. And yeah, it's true.
It's true, man. Listen, y'all let us know what y'all think, man. This is a
Yeah.
very touchy situation. Are you
Yeah.
squealing? Are you telling somebody murk
Yeah.
your your
Yeah.
manager, your
I
daddy?
mean, look,
You
yeah,
know?
that might be enough to get you to tell somebody shoot your daddy 4 times. Is you keeping it real, or you gonna
You getting
cooperate?
a
You gonna
live
keep,
sentence.
and you gonna keep it real with investigators if they shoot your daddy 4 times, or you gonna keep it real with the streets? Y'all let us know, man.
Straight up. True.